What the f is up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Your boy finally got a haircut, so no longer feel like I need to wear a hat everywhere. Today we're working on this old girl some more. If you guys saw the last video, we installed the body kit fully on this car, got that all dialed in. The front is still sitting incredibly low. Instead of raising the coilover this time, I'm going to swap out the tires. I got new tires for the fronts. Those came in a couple days ago, so we're going to be swapping those out. Playing around with fitment a little bit more. I'm pumped. I'm going to see if I can get this thing into the shop real quick, get these front wheels taken off, and slap these new tires on. The whole reason why I'm doing all of this is so that I can daily this car, not daily the Supra, because we are going to be starting on the Supra project very soon, like incredibly soon. I'm almost tempted to start taking it apart this weekend, but I want to make sure that this thing is good to go before I do that and go from there, because the Supra project is going to be a long one, but it's going to be the coolest project that we've done so far on the channel. So I'm pumped. So I'm very curious to see what the new tire size does to the height of the car. I ended up measuring the driver's side and the passenger side. For some reason the heights are off by like a quarter inch, but this side is 3 1/4 inches off the ground from this bumper point, and then 2 7/8 on the passenger side. So I'm gonna take these wheels off, put the new tires on, see how they translate to the height of the car. Should be a pretty significant difference, and also fix some of this fitment up here as well. So let's do it. All right, so the tire specs that are on the fronts right now are like super stance boy spec. There are 215, 40, 18 on a 10-inch wide wheel, and I am going to be changing to 225, 45. So up one size for both. Should be all good. I'm gonna set you guys down and time lapse this thing. These are good to go. I can already tell the height of the tire is substantially more than before, so that should help us a ton and also clear up some of that little bit of gap that we had in the fender. So I'm gonna roll these back, put them on, see how they look. That's much, much better. Wow. I raised it up a lot. That's sick. So looking at my measurements before, I had 2 7/8 passenger side, 3 1/4 driver's side. If we look now, well, just slightly over 4 inches, which means we basically raised the front of the car almost an inch just from changing tire size. It's something that you never think about when you're trying to be, you know, fitted and low and stuff like that. Don't change your fitment. If you change your tire, you can raise your car up, the fitment stays the same, if not gets better, and everyone wins. So I'm gonna see if I can mount my lip on now, because before I couldn't keep the lip on when I came into the shop. So if I can keep the lip on when I leave, we're good. Oh yeah. That's perfect. We are good to go. I'm stoked about that. Didn't have to change a thing, just the front tires. So now there's no more rake. Car sits flat, clean, flush. Now she is ready for the streets. Me and Pete from Peter's Car Parts are working together to come up with a crazy parts list for this thing throughout the season. So just know this thing is not stopping here. I got stuff coming for the rear of the car, I got stuff coming for the front of the car, maybe some goodies for the interior. This thing is gonna be rad. It's gonna be probably the coolest daily that I could ever ask for. Big old Japanese boat that's comfortable and looks badass. I'm gonna tighten up these wheels, get this all figured out, and then pull it outside. Okay, it's the next day. I think I'm gonna take the LS on its first maiden voyage out of the compound ever. Ever since we got this place, the LS made it in here and it's never left because I started acquiring other cars, I started enjoying other cars, and this car just kind of sat. But she's back with a brand new look, brand new ride height, and now she's partially clean because it rained like hell this morning. Hoping that I can get out of here without any issues. Really don't want to blow apart this kit or this lip or anything like that. So I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed, but this has got to happen eventually. Let's see if we can do it. Go. I just want to throw into this portion of the video really quickly that me and Peter's Car Parts are actually going to be giving you guys a discount code to use on Peter's website for some really cool LS400 stuff. And it's the same stuff that I got for my car, my chasing LED taillights from Japan, and my full walled Sportline V2 kit that I have on this car. If any of you guys are interested in either the taillights or the body kit for your UCF20 LS400, me and Peter are going to be giving you guys 15% off on his website by using code DIVINE. So if you guys are interested in that stuff, I get hit up all the time. Where'd you get the taillights? Where'd you get the body kit? Etc, etc. His link will be in the description of this video. Go to his website, use the code. It'll save you some good money on the stuff and you'll be able to get your LS400 rocking. So thank you, Peter. I appreciate it. I know everyone watching this video appreciates you and all the stuff that you're gonna be doing for this car. So back to the video. Oh yeah. Non-existent, and listening to this thing just drone at my legs the entire time. It's not pleasant. Another one of those past mic things that I'm not happy with. So now that we made it out of the compound and I know that I can commute with this thing back and forth, it's time to get an exhaust. We're just chilling, cruising. Steering wheel's close to being straight. No crazy shaking, no vibrations. This is good. I'm happy with this. A little bit of gas, a little bit of coffee. This thing's good to go. For 30K springs, this thing rides pretty nice. I forgot about that. I was kind of daunting. I was kind of waiting on that. I was worried about it being a shit ride, but it's pretty nice. I can't complain. If this was up north though, I'd complain. All right, so I've been driving this thing for a few days now. This video is kind of over a few days span, but it's time to talk about this thing over here because I think it's time. I got this car working, I got it dialed, the height is good, the tires are good, the body kit's on, been driving it a lot more. I think it's time we tear into the Supra. So I got this car in like May of last year, and this car's amazing. It's in like damn near perfect condition. I've been daily driving it from May, mostly up until now, and a little bit of the NSX in between, but I've always had big plans for this car, but could never pull the trigger because it's just such a daunting task to me to completely strip this car apart, take the engine out, build everything. But I think it's time. The LS400 works now as a daily. That car is sick. I have the NSX, which I don't really drive that often, but I could always drive that car if I need to, and it's always a blast. And a Supra isn't a Supra if it's automatic, NA, boring. Don't get me wrong, I want to do this. It's not like I feel pressured into doing it from like outside sources or people telling me that you can't have a Supra if it's not turbo and making 1,000 horsepower and all that stuff. it's the way that this car should be, you know. It should be turbo, it should be fast, it should sound amazing, and it's time for that. So morning coffee stop, had to get Starbucks. It's the weekend, felt like driving a little farther, but there's no Riley's right near here. I'm gonna go grab some stuff that I might need for the swap, like just jugs for draining coolant and fluids and things like that. I think I'll be pretty good on tools now, but just want to grab that while I'm here, and then we'll head back, get the car in the shop, get it up on stands, and officially start the process of the teardown of this thing. This is gonna be crazy. I'm gonna miss driving this thing, but I know in the future it's gonna be exactly what I want it to be. It's gonna be one badass friggin' Supra, and I'm gonna obviously go into detail about the specs and build plans that I have for this thing, but right now let's take this thing over to the shop, get it in its new home, and maybe start working on it a little bit in this video. Start tearing into it. It's got a long road ahead, but it's gonna be sick. Got my little rolly cart all set up, good to go. This thing is in its final resting spot for quite a long time. Don't even know where to be. Well, I know where to begin with this, but I'm trying to egg myself on to take this thing apart and just rip that band-aid off and just start gutting this whole thing. In the next video, I'm gonna break down the build list that I have for this car. We have quite the extensive list of parts that are going to be going on order for this thing, and I want to kind of get ahead of the curve and start taking it apart right now, because by the time that it's probably ready for parts, they'll just start to arrive because everything is back ordered and taking forever right now. But yeah, in the next video, expect like a full build breakdown on all of the stuff that we have coming for this car. It's going to be insane. This car will, at the ending stage, be capable of putting down 1,000 horsepower. Right now it's probably at 180 with this engine in it, so it's going to be quite the transformation. I'm going to shut the fuck up because this video's had a lot of talking in it, and I apologize. I'm going to set you guys down on a tripod and just start taking stuff apart. I don't know how far along I'm going to get today, but it would be nice to just start ripping that band-aid off now and get going. So let's friggin' do this. Mark 4 Supra, 1,000 horsepower build, starts now. Now, in terms of my knowledge with the JZs, I'm okay. I'm pretty good. The only stuff that I've really done that's JZ intensive would be the single turbo kit that I did on the Soarer with Jimmy about 2 years ago. It's crazy that was 2 years ago. Anyways, yeah, we're gonna get after this thing. I'm excited. I'm really excited. So while I was taking a bunch of stuff out of this car, I cut a few wires that were clearly not factory. Some of them went to the horn that was in here, like the car alarm, that was aftermarket. I cut those, and then I noticed some wires that had like an aftermarket loom to them, and they came out from here. They snaked up over the top of the engine, and one wire was spliced into the intake wiring right here, and the other one was spliced, it's gonna be kind of hard to see, I'll brighten up the footage, but right there into the distributor. So I was like, okay, there's something weird going on here. Cut those wires, went under the dash, started pulling a bunch of stuff apart. And I found this thing under there. This is a Venom 400 performance control module, and it was turned on. And I did some research, I looked it up, and these basically mess with your fuel and air to give you better performance, and also adjusts the shifting in automatic cars to shift quicker. Part of that kind of makes sense because this car has always smelled kind of rich, so it was definitely dumping a little more fuel than normal. It's just weird. Like, this is just a weird box to find under the car. And I also found this huge heap of wiring for this aftermarket security system that I don't need that, don't want that. I wish that I knew that this Venom thing was in there and that it had an on-off switch, because I would have just turned it off and seen if it changed anything performance-wise. Maybe gave me a little better fuel mileage. Anyway, enough of that. I'll show you guys what I did in the engine bay so far. Batteries out, disconnected. Horn security system disconnected, all the wiring that went to that disconnected all the way from the source, all of it's on the ground over there. Air filter, intake, everything is off. Disconnected a bunch of wiring and stuff that was on this side that goes to the engine, kind of just threw it up over the top. Got rid of the evap canister, the charcoal canister, and also cruise control, that was right here, that had its own throttle cable and everything. Disconnected that, threw that up over the engine. So I would say this side of the engine is pretty much good. Just have to focus more on this side in the next video. And obviously everything under the car, like the exhaust, the drive shaft, fluids, everything like that, shifter inside the car, all that stuff has to come out. And then this thing is hopefully good to come out of the car. Like I said, in the next video, we'll be going over the build list on this thing, give you guys the full rundown, what we're planning to do, what we're expecting to do, what I plan to do with the engine bay, if I'm just going to clean it up or if I'm going to completely paint it, shave it, wire tuck it. Who knows yet? Part of that I already know what I'm going to do, but part of it I'm still kind of deciding on. So in the next video I'll know for sure. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you guys are pumped to see the Supra finally getting torn into, finally getting the whole build started. This is going to be such a badass car when it's done, and I am so stoked. Leave a comment down below what you guys think. Again, thank you guys all for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.